So this is Tannersville Bike Park, and this place is incredibly special to me. This is really the place I learned to ride, and I haven't been back here in a long time. This place is so special because it was super approachable when I first started out, but had enough to keep me interested. And that was even before they added the double black, quote unquote, tech trail. Many times I would just, when I didn't have the e-bike, or when I was first starting out, I would come here and just sit down by the creek, or, it was peaceful. I think I've maybe ran into 5 people in all the times I've come here. Another thing I love about this place and really deserves its kudos is, obviously I have the e-bike now, but back when I didn't, or if you don't have one, the climb out of here is not bad. The amount of laps of this place you can get is, this is probably the steepest part. I don't know what the actual elevation gain is here. I'll put it here through the power of editing. But it's super easy, but I think that needs to be commended, because I think that it can be intimidating, big climbs, and So this trail by far was the best thing that they've done to this place to make this thing way more complete. It says double black, and I've told this to a bunch of people, it's probably closer to like a dark blue, single black. It is pretty technical, but this trail is amazing. Through the power of editing and the ability of hindsight, I wanted to kind of put my thoughts into a more concise form about these trail networks. And I know the last video I made, I kind of had a call to action about, needing more progressive trails and wanting more progressive trails. And I do think that's important, but the last couple nights when I came home from work, I start to thinking about, where I started from and the beginner trail networks and these trail networks that sometimes people kind of shun, for the lack of a better word. And I made a point to go back there on Friday for a quick ride. And I think the best part of a place like Tannersville Bike Park, or the Hathaway Trails, whatever you want to call it, is to make mountain biking more accessible to the masses. Without this place, I truly don't think I would be the rider I am today. And I know that is super cliche to say, and I know that a lot of people can say that about a lot of trail networks, but this one's the one that's special to me. This place, between the blue jump line and then, adding the tech trail, and then, even the XC loop, made it so I felt comfortable to go to the bike park. Because when I initially had gone to the bike park, I had a trail bike and I wasn't ready. I just simply was not. So I kept coming back to this trail network, and I could ride the trails at really any pace I wanted to. I can continue today to ride them as advanced as I want to, but they were accessible enough for me in the beginning to ride them as a beginner and continue to work up to things and look at something and say, well, this looks good. How can I do this better? How is this going to make me a better rider? And still to this day, there's features there. And as you're watching this clip on the Black Tech Trail, I almost ate it a couple times because it's a tough trail. And I remember riding that trail for the first time and realizing, okay, this is what real tech is for mountain biking, and I feel pretty good with myself on this one. So yes, we do need more progressive trail networks, but at the same time too, these beginner-friendly parks and, more accessible parks for everybody are just as important, and we need them just as much.
Place even has an XC loop for those of you who partake in that sort of punishment. Not really my thing, but kind of just using this to get back to the top of the mountain. I mean, look how clear that water is. I got this place to myself. I just sat here fixing my bike, and it's not the worst place. I've never hit this, and it always looked really crappy, but I think today might be the day. That's crazy. I've rode here for about 2-3 years now. I used to look at that and think that thing was like impossible, couldn't be done. But, jeez, I just hit that. That was no big deal. I mean, could probably hit it better, but I mean, it just kind of goes to show you how there are some real visible progression marks when you come back to places that you used to ride. I think a lot of the time with places like this is people, once they feel like they've gotten to a certain point of progression, they kind of start overlooking places like this, entirely think it's fair. The last video I did, I spoke about how we do need some more progressive stuff, but this place is a perfect example. This place had 3 trails. It had the XC Loop, which is probably close to a green. This trail I'm riding on now, which is green, light blue, if that's even a thing. And then it had the jump line, which was a proper blue jump trail. When you add to things and you care about things, people will care. I don't always think it's unfair to say that like places like this, they're for beginners or this. It's like everybody was a beginner at one point. I had just raced yesterday, as I'll put a clip here, and without this place, I don't think I would be able to have done that. And I really think that's important to remember. I do think places like this are important because they gave me the confidence to get to another level. This place will always have a special place in my heart because I know once I was able to hit this, I knew I sort of kind of had, I don't want to say made it, but I felt proud because this thing was daunting for two years. This area, just like this little section and the tables up here, this double still is like eluded me. It's a little too big. Doesn't work super well. But like this, I just could sit here for hours and just continue to try to get better.
So what is my final thoughts here? My final thoughts are places like Tannersville Bike Park are super important because I think sometimes when people get to a point in their riding career or any sports or athletic career or even just in their own regular career that they may forget where they started and where they came from. And a place like Tannersville Bike Park is a good place to start. And without that trail network, I wouldn't be racing downhill, at an amateur level. I wouldn't be going to a bike park. I wouldn't be towing other people into features. I wouldn't be learning to jump the way I am. I wouldn't be a confident rider. So yes, it is okay to want progressive trail networks, but at the same time, these networks, these beginner to intermediate networks, are just as important, if not even more important. So never forget where you came from, because everyone started somewhere.
So, as I wrap up today and I ride back to the car with no battery left, just about none, remember, these places are important, because this is where people like me, people like you, people like the world's most professional riders started. And they're still fun. You know, they might not be as white knuckle as a bike park or, you know, some unsanctioned double black trail in the middle of the woods, but they're still important. And as I said last week, having progressive trails is great too, but I think this is just as important, if not more important. So, as always, go out and ride something.